Welcome to Applied Logics. In this video, we will see how we can find the second smallest number from an array. For example, if you have an input array with three elements like 5, 3 and 1, in this case, your program should return 3 as the output. Okay, let's take one more example. If you have one more array with 5 elements like 10, 20, 40, 50 and 30, in this case, you should get 20 as the output. So let's see how we can implement it in a Java. Okay, so here I am creating a solution.java file. Let me quickly add public class solution. Okay, let's go ahead and add the main method, that is public static void main. Okay, and add the string arguments, array of arguments as input. Okay, now I will declare one array over here which will be the values array, and we'll consider our first example, that is 5, 3 and 1. Okay, then I will call one variable as a result, and I will call the method get second smallest element. Get second smallest element, and I will pass values array to it. Okay, so this method I will declare in some time. Okay, and I will print the result of this operation. Yes, so I'll be using system.out.println result. Okay, so this is the driver code which will call the gets second smallest element method. Okay, so let's define the second smallest element method. So it will be again a public static method for me. I'm changing the return type from void to int, as this method will return the integer, that is second smallest number. And method name, yes, get second smallest element. Okay, this method will accept the integer array as the input, so I'll be adding integer array to it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and declare two integers, that is first one will be the smallest, which will be the smallest of all, and let me initialize it with integer dot max value. So this is the integer class, and max value will return the max value possible for the integer. Okay, and I will also declare one more variable, that is second smallest, and I will also initialize it with the same like integer dot max value. Okay, now I need to iterate through entire array in order to see which one is the second smallest element. So let's go ahead and add the for loop. I'll be using integer I equals to 0, I less than input dot length. So this will make sure that you iterate entire array, and yeah, I will increment the I counter every time by 1. Okay, so let's create one variable, that is current element, and so I'll be pointing input of I to it. Okay, so the current element will hold a value which is being accessed by the index, that is I. Okay, now let's add a check, like if the current element is, if it is less than the smallest element. Okay, in that case you have to update the smallest, as usual, right? Smallest current element will become the smallest. But just before that, you have to make sure that you are updating the second smallest with the smallest element. So what you did, once you receive an element which is smaller than smallest element, you have to assign the smallest, that is earlier smallest, as a second smallest, right? And the current element will be the next smallest element for you. Okay, let's add else if condition, and here you have to check whether the current element that you are currently accessing, if it is less than second smallest. Okay, if it is less than second smallest but it is greater than the smallest, if it, and it is greater than the smallest. So what we are checking in this condition, we are checking that the element we are accessing, that is the current element, it is lying between second smallest and smallest. For example, your smallest element is 10. So let's say 10 is the smallest element, and your current element's value will be 20, and your earlier second smallest element is 30. So in this case, you have to make sure that you are updating your second smallest element only, right? You need to update your second smallest from 30 to 20. We don't update smallest in this case. So let's go ahead and update only the second smallest element with the current element. Okay, I'm just removing the comment, and after the for loop we have to return second smallest element. Okay, cool. So let's see if our code works. Let's go ahead and compile the code like java c solution.java, and let's run the solution. Yes, we received 3, which was expected. Okay, let's update the input with our second input, that is 10, 20, 40, 50, 30. In this case, we, our code should return 20 as the output. So let's try that. I have compiled the code and I'm running the code, and yes, I got the element as a 20. So this is the function which will help you to get the second smallest element. We will talk about the complexity of the code, complexity of various functions, various approaches later in the sections. For this video, just focus on how we can get the second smallest element. If you have any questions around this question, feel free to ask in the comment section. I will try to answer each of them. Thank you.